Rod Kuzlin Spooman for Risk once again, August 8th, Monday, 2011. Many are asking us, well, what is this hold trade you keep on referring to? So I thought we'd do a real quick demo where we can really demonstrate this. Now we have two charts on the workspace. One chart is trading long, and it's just getting stopped out. Okay, and these long trades are just for demonstration purposes, just to show you what this whole trade is all about. So we set up a very simple strategy to give us some long trades. And then we have a strategy that's taking short trades. Now normally, if we have both of these strategies on the same workspace, in the same chart more specifically, and one trade, one of the strategies is trading in the opposite direction to another, well, it would obviously take you out of that position. So for example, normally we get the short trade in here, and just a few ticks later this other strategy goes long and we're out of the short. Or maybe we make a profit for a while and then the strategy goes long again and it takes us out of the short. What can we do so that the strategy holds the short trade even though other strategies might normally want to take us in the opposite direction? What can we do? Well, we've created this hold trade feature to prevent that from occurring. So we could have a gazillion strategies on the same chart, but with the hold trade, no matter what, if the hold trade feature is turned on, nothing will take it out of the trade in terms of a strategy that's reversing direction. Now obviously we could get stopped out. There is one condition that would actually cause the hold trade to exit. We'll talk about that in a second. But the big point of this is that with the hold trade feature turned on, the trade will not reverse directions, because another strategy, and we use multiple strategies on a given chart, we don't want the other strategies to exit a good trade. So what we did is we set up a provision which is based upon the use of z-score, and at the moment what we have done, if you look at this subgraph here, the z-score in this subgraph is above the zero line. Now here we get the short trade. That's fine. Once the 300 tick, and in this case the 1000 tick, are below the zero line, we go into a hold pattern. We're going to hold on to that trade, and we'll remain in that trade so long as the 1000 here remains below zero. Now here, as you can see, it just goes above the zero line momentarily, and that exits the trade. But we get right back in a short trade again, and within a few ticks we're back into a hold pattern. So in spite of the fact that on the chart above there are lots of long trades, those long trades simply cannot take place while we're in a hold pattern. And that's what the hold trade is all about. Now, there's nothing magical about using a 1000 tick bar ES. We could use any number of different intervals if we wanted to, different approaches, but the concept would remain the same. You could use a 2000 tick bar, you could use a 3-minute bar, a 10-minute bar, it wouldn't make any difference. Use whatever you want. But the point is, once that condition exists, that trade is going to be held. As you can see it being held right now. These are very, very simple strategies. But the feature is what really counts. So if any of you have got more questions about our hold feature, shoot us an email. We'll be happy to try to explain it if we haven't succeeded at doing so in this demo. But once again, and finally, when we have a good trade working, we don't want another strategy, regardless of the fact that those strategy conditions are met. We don't want to get out of this good trade. So we don't let the other strategies allow us to exit. And therefore, we can hold on to that trade a lot longer. So with that thought in mind, that's our brief video on the hold trade feature, and this is Rod Kusin and Spooman for Risk.